In 2017, information circulating about political violence brought Kenya to a standstill for days. Residents cowered in their homes while the government was labeled as incapable. The information turned out to be almost completely false, but the damage was already done. Economic stability was robbed, livelihoods were lost, and confidence in news sources was irrevocably damaged. The problem is that developing countries receive the vast majority of their news through untrustworthy social media. Our team has been in contact with over 200 Kenyans and found that while 62% of Kenyans receive most of their news from social media, they also think it is only 70% accurate. The cost of misinformation is immense, with the World Economic Forum labeling it a top global risk and calculating its negative impact at over 78 billion annually in developed countries alone. The Kenyan people recognize this to be a serious problem. However, there is no existing solution to help them. That's where Chirp comes in. Our mission is to make communities more economically stable, safe, and connected by empowering them with accurate, timely, and local information. Chirp is an app that collects user-generated reports regarding 3 categories of events: public safety, economic, and social events. These topics have been identified to be the most important to our initial users through extensive surveying. Once an event is reported, it appears on a map that other users can view. From there, if they have specific knowledge on the event reported, they're able to validate or invalidate the event. This process, along with our trustworthiness algorithm that we hold as a company's secret, allows us to ensure the most trustworthy information is widespread in a timely manner to the people that need it the most. You may be asking yourself, why Kenya or why Africa? And the answer is simple. Africa is the fastest growing tech economy in the world, with Kenya being labeled as the Silicon Savannah. Additionally, sub-Saharan smartphone penetration is projected to hit 66% by 2025, which competes closely with the international averages. Lastly, crowdsourced information is stronger than centralized information in an age that allows communication at unforeseen levels.
In keeping all of this in mind, our venture wanted to better understand our opportunity space, so we conducted an extensive competitive analysis, specifically looking at companies that specializes in aspects of our 3 core pillars: timeliness, hyperlocality, and trustworthiness. So first, looking at timeliness, we wanted to make sure that we are getting our information across to our users in a timely manner. This time can literally change or help someone's life. So all of these companies, as you all know, specialize in communicating information in a fast way. Next, we look at hyperlocality. All of these companies specialize in generating information for specific individual communities and neighborhoods. Chirp wants to be a platform in which users can see what is going around in their neighborhood and get relevant information fast. And lastly, we looked at companies that tackle this problem of determining the truth. Companies do this in 3 main ways. The first way is crowdsourcing. Companies like Waze use crowdsourced information from users to determine the truth. The second major way is journalism. Companies like the Standard Group, which is a major news outlet in Kenya, use journalists and other resources to investigate and report the truth. And lastly, companies use validation. Companies like FactStream use some sort of algorithm to automate the traditional fact-checking process. So keeping all of this in mind, this is how Chirp defines trustworthiness. We specifically use aspects of crowdsourcing and validation to advance our competitive advantage. And this can be seen in 2 ways: on the perspective of the individual user trust level, and also on the perspective of the actual event that's being reported on. So first, looking at the user perspective, we take into account the age of account, the distance the user is from the event, and the previous accuracy of the reports. And all of that information feeds into our algorithm, which decides how trustworthy that individual report is. On the event side, we take into account the number of reports and the associated trust of those reports to drive the validation of our competitive advantage. And so kind of bringing all of this together, companies focus on maybe some aspects of our three pillars, but no one does all three. And that is where we see our competitive advantage in our opportunity space. And really, the value of Chirp Alert can be seen at the intersection of these three key ideas. We want to provide users timely, hyperlocal, and trustworthy information. And kind of going into that a little bit more, by providing users this platform at their fingertips, users that are going out into the unknown can now make decisions that give them the most safe outcomes. Users can make decisions that are most economically viable for them, saving money and time on things that are close by. And lastly, users will feel like they are part of an even closer knit community because they will be able to help their neighbors in ways they didn't even realize. Chirp Alert is a critical community development tool that allows users to truly help their community. And it also increases feelings of well-being and safety to everyone who uses it.
An important thing to note with Chirp Alert is that our customers and users are not the same group of people. Our users will be able to access Chirp Alert and all of its features free of charge in order to maximize the positive impact that we're able to instill. And our customers, on the other hand, will be businesses that buy three types of advertising space. Display advertising is commonly seen in the US and includes banners and pop-ups. Second is search optimization, allowing businesses to appear first in our social searches. And last is map recognition, the ability to have your business's name above your location on the social map at all times. Our customers include four segments: street vendors who are looking to gain recognition in a sea of informal business, students who have side hustles and are trying to get an audience, larger establishments that are trying to become staples of their city, and smaller businesses who are trying to become those larger establishments. This table shows the potential projections for display advertising in the next 5 years. The calculations are made using industry standard values, and the visitors per day were underestimated to once per month in order to stay conservative in our estimates. Search optimization is where we see the most potential to bring in revenue. Our customers will be empowered to buy this service because oftentimes just 1 or 2 new customers per day will see them making a profit. And lastly, map recognition. Also highly lucrative, and we believe while the price is low, there will be a lot higher traffic from customers because they'll be interested in claiming their spot on the map. The initial market that we target will be Kisumu, Kenya, the 3rd largest city in Kenya. As the app grows, we can expand throughout Kenya, Africa, and the world, with the only limit on our market size being the number of smartphone users in the world. The 3 advertising choices can be summed to show our estimated income in the first 5 years after launch. We would initially begin in just Kisumu, and then in the next couple years begin to spread to Nairobi, Mombasa, and other large cities. And in year 5, if we have only just 4% of the Kenyan market, we would be making roughly $9 million before maintenance costs. Chirp Alert combines the best aspects of our competitors, allowing users to receive trustworthy, hyperlocal, and unbiased information all in one. And Chirp Alert has developed an MVP of our user interface and algorithm. But looking into the future, we need to expand upon this and bring our MVP to fully functional products. We are already in the process of interviewing Kenyan app developers and pursuing potential partnerships, which will further develop our community relationships. We will then optimize these relationships by traveling to Kenya in May to conduct market research and field testing. We plan to receive funding from various pitch competitions and investors in Kenya to carry out the development of the app. Chirp Alert consists of a group of students partnered with Dr. Gershenson and advised by Dorcas Owino, a tech community enabler in Kenya who has been featured in Forbes 30 Under 30. Through this partnership with Dorcas, we've been able to interview app developers, pursue additional team members, and fulfill all the skills required to develop Chirp Alert. With Chirp Alert, communities will be more economically stable, safe, and connected. Thank you.